And we are live. Just received a message from Marcelo.
Okay.
So I'm now just getting rid of everything that can make a sound in my computer. Okay. 4 minutes to go. So I don't know how is the weather for you guys, but here in Portugal is like a super sunny day today.
Same here. I think in the UK as well, it's quite sunny. It's a good weekend.
The weather's changing at the moment. I think we're going to, because I'm up in the very north, we're going to have rain today and tomorrow at some point. I mean, it was pelting down last night overnight. I woke up at 3 a.m. with it bouncing off the roof.
It's crazy because last weekend we had a 30-degree Sunday. It was crazy. So we were all on shirts outside enjoying the sun and the heat. And then suddenly on Monday it started raining, but like pouring. And we were like, where's spring again? And now this week, I think you can see the light. There has been like a very, very nice, very nice few days.
But sometimes it's better for the lockdown. Light. It's better for the lockdown and social distancing because once it's sunny and nice outside, you want to go outside.
True.
While it's raining, you have to stay inside.
Yes. Right now we have to stay inside because we all have to work anyway.
Yeah.
So it's the same as being at the office. But even though, for example, on the weekends while we were in isolation, it's way better to be bad weather because that way you're not tempting to go out.
Yeah, not tempted to go outside. That's true.
And you were telling us, Thibault, that you are currently in Austria, right?
That's right, yeah.
So you're staying until the end of the isolation, or you still don't know?
We don't know yet. I mean, we ran away from the UK back in beginning of March or end of Feb, and we have been staying there until then. And we're just waiting for the last updates. So hopefully Sunday we'll have an idea when we can go back. Sunday they are announcing the easing of the lockdown and so on. So hopefully we'll have an update.
And it has been easy for you to be there, like with your jobs and things like that?
I mean, my job is remote, so the company has been built completely remote. So all our employees and myself, we are remote. So wherever we are, we can work for clients.
Perfect.
But the difficult part is that I'm stuck with my in-laws.
I understand.
That's the only part which is tough. The rest is fine.
Well, it's temporary.
Yeah, it is. No, it's nice.
Hopefully,
it's very nice.
Yeah, it is, right? It's some time with the family. Well, hopefully it's not 6 months, but even though it's always good to have some time.
No, but it's good to be in the family and to be all together in this situation. Better than if we are staying alone in the UK and stay at home. Correct.
Exactly. Definitely. Okay, so we have 1 minute to go and then we can start. We already have some people watching that I can see here. So stick with us.
Quick question, Liliana. Can people hear us at the moment?
Yes.
All right. Okay. I'm not going to ask you that question. I'm going to let them guess what it was, and I'll introduce it halfway through.
Be careful, we are already live.
That's all right. I'm just kidding you. I've got to keep you.
Yeah, I never know. I never know with you. You're completely unpredictable.
Wow, predictability is a terrible thing.
Yeah, it's boring, right?
A little bit. Sometimes it's nice. Sometimes.
Okay, so we're about to start. I want to start on time, so I think we can go. It's already 4. Ready to go, guys?
Yeah.
Perfect. So hello, everyone that's watching. Welcome to another webinar of our initiative Stay InfraSpeak. Every Tuesday, we host a talk for hotel or facility managers with topics related to operations, management, or tech, and with relevant industry professionals sharing their experiences. Also, if you want to keep updated on our agenda, you can follow the link that I will leave on the comment section. You already know. And my name is Liliana. I am a marketing executive at InfraSpeak. I will be guiding this conversation. Maybe most of you that have been watching our webinars already know me and Larry, that is joining me today as well. Larry O'Brien is the country manager of InfraSpeak. And today with us, we have Thibault, which is actually the founder and the managing director of Catala Consulting. And we will be talking a little bit about how to leverage technology in the hospitality industry. So I will start by asking you, Thibault, to actually introduce a little bit about yourself and your professional path. So go ahead and welcome.
Okay, thank you for having me. I mean, my name is Thibault. I'm French. So again, if you understand, if you say something that you don't understand and so on, even in the questions for people who are watching, just let me know. I can repeat at any time, and I will not be angry. But so my name is Thibault. My background is mostly in revenue management. So I have 10 years of experience in revenue management, working with Intercontinental for 5 years back in France and Portugal. Then with 4 Seasons Hotel and Resort in Asia, where I was looking after hotels in, again, revenue management in Japan, China, and Singapore. And for the last 2 years, I decided to quit everything and to open my own consulting company based in London, where we are providing outsourced revenue management, consulting, and training. So we are giving an alternative for hoteliers to hire their own revenue manager who's the best expert in the market. And yeah, so far we have been growing the portfolio, looking after revenue management, technology upgrades, and helping everyone to get on board on those new tech.
Perfect. I know we have been talking before this webinar actually, and I know that you have a broad experience in a lot of different countries and markets. And talking about technology, do you think that the technology needs changes accordingly to the markets, for example?
I would say yes and no, because the needs for technology are all present wherever you go. The only difference I see is that some countries are more advanced than some other, also depending on the resources they have and as well as their approach to technology. So for example, in Asia, if you go to China, you see everyone on WeChat, and so everyone on their mobile phone, on the tube, or traveling and so on. So the approach to technology is much more is much more advanced in a way, because everyone use WeChat to pay and so on. So you need to adapt. A hotel needs to be able to adapt to have those kind of practices. But the needs and demand for new technology is definitely there, and everyone is starting to embrace it. And now it's at different speed. Yes.
And probably it depends a lot on the type of hotel or establishment that we are talking about, right? It's not the same for a smaller one and a bigger one. It's not the same for big resorts or, you know, a local business. So what would you say that usually sets up the difference?
I would say first the budget that you are ready to invest in your technology, because they don't have the same budget for those kind of practices. What you can first, your team. So what kind of team can understand and support those technology, because it's one thing to have a technology available to make it ready for your hotel, but then it's another thing to make sure everyone understand it and or know to use it fully. So I would say like a team is a big factor on deploying or not new technology. Now I believe everyone needs to embrace it, even at a small level or at more advanced, more a bigger stage. But everyone needs to go on this trend for sure.
Larry, since you work in technology specifically in the UK, what would you say that it's the scenario in the UK? So most of the hotels have adopted technology solutions. Most of them are still trying to figure it out what is important or not. What would you say? Are they open to adopt new technologies?
Yeah, as Thibault says correctly, the need is the same across country, across hotel size, shape, etc. The difference in countries specifically is the localization and the cultural impact that you come back to with solutions. I mean, we provide a technology solution in multiple languages in multiple countries, so you have to address those elements. But I think the bigger issue you've got is how people are trying to address the need and the kind of overhead they're having to take on with the need. There's a lot of classic solutions in the hotel environment that, shall we say, have a large overhead, a large technology debt comes with them, which basically means they're expensive to operate, sometimes expensive to implement, etc. A lot of the products that are available in the market now obviously come without that technology debt. They're in the cloud. They're designed to be much more agile, much easier to use, to deploy. So a hotel most times will realize that actually moving to a more modern technology base has a lot more advantages for them in terms of easier for staff to use, because it might be language compatible where you've got overseas staff working in the hospitality industry, as we know what happens in the UK. It's more familiar, there's less training overhead, all of those sort of things. So there's a lot of advantages to be gained from looking at a modern, maybe more hybrid type solution.
Okay, perfect. And Thibault, what do you say that are the kind of technologies that for today will be absolutely crucial, like no matter the size of the hotel we're talking about? And why do you think those technologies are the ones that you need to implement?
I mean, for me, when we take over a new hotel, we look at different levels of systems and technology. The first one, we start with a PMS, a property management system, which I believe is at the center of everything, because you need to look at all your structures that you want to build, and you need to start with a PMS first. So PMS can be the big one with the monopoly, can be like Opera, or it can be the more innovative in the cloud, such as Muse, Apaleo, Clock. So you have like different PMS in the market at different stage. And then once you have your PMS, you look at your channel manager, which one are connecting to your PMS first, and because they all need to be connected to each other. Channel manager is another big one, such as SiteMinder, where you can connect with different OTAs and different GDS, for example. And then for us specifically, we look at revenue management systems. So it can be Ideas, Duetto, Pace, Atomize, where it helps us with our tactics like pricing, forecast, reporting, all this kind of stuff. So we select the big three of technology in order: PMS, channel manager, revenue management system, and then we will include different systems on top of it, depending on the needs of an expectation of each hotel, such as POS, maintenance systems. It can be key cards from the hotels. We have a lot of different systems that we will need to include in this technology stack, but we all start with a PMS, which is the most important in my opinion.
Okay, makes sense. Do you agree, Larry?
Yeah, no, understand that. Effectively, the hotel, a lot of the time, the thought process is front of house. It's all about how you're getting the bookings in, how you're dealing with your customer satisfaction, etc. I mean, the other bits that add into that with the new and emerging technologies are things like where we've come from, you know, where you look at your computerized maintenance management system, moving it away from your traditional legacy back office based system to a more automated solution, working on handheld, empowering the maintenance engineers, the third-party engineers, and also your housekeeping staff. Stupid things like, rather than waiting until the end of the day for somebody to report that they've finished the 4th floor, it's actually known that when room 401 is free, you know, because the person's moved out, you've finished the clean, you've done all the work, that integrates back to your booking and reservation system, and they can let the guest in early. And also things like, you know, making sure you can address the customer satisfaction levels of the guest by automating tasks more, being more responsive, compressing the SLA, the amount of time it takes you to do things. So all those things are really good. And then the emerging technologies you've got coming through in terms of the Internet of Things, going on from your building management system, which historically might have integrated to your PMS, moving to the fact that now what you'll have is sensor arrays, telling you that the heating's too high automatically, that it's too low, that you've got light problems here, that there's heavy density of floor traffic going through these areas, that maybe this washroom, because it's near the event hall, has been used much more than you were expecting, and those linking back then into something like a maintenance management system to actually get people to drive that service level again. For me in the hotel, it's always service level, service level, service level, customer satisfaction.
True. I was actually thinking and taking some notes because the fact that we have other softwares integrating with your PMS is probably one of the biggest reasons why you will choose that software specifically. So when you choose a PMS, after that is only finding softwares that can actually integrate with that PMS that you already have, because it's a big effort to select one. So that is my next question, actually, Thibault. So what do you say that managers are looking for when they are deciding for a technology or for a software in specific? So what are they usually looking for? What's the process of selecting a software?
Again, it really depends on the size of your property and what you are looking for when selecting this kind of system. I will say people are looking for a system which is user friendly. They're looking for something which is cloud-based, much more simple to use and cloud-based. That's a new system that you see. I'm talking about mostly the PMS, but I can talk to other systems as well. But number one, user friendliness, the vision of the company. So not only the system itself, but as well the vision that we have, because a lot of hotels are investing into new system from startup. And so you buy a product, but what you may end up in 5 years, 10 years down the line will may change a bit more compared to what you have as of today. So it's important to invest in a vision and as well as an idea, because it's a startup. Okay, so you need to make sure it's in line with what you expect from the system, and as well having some kind of flexibility to plug out those kind of system, not like as you mentioned, Larry, of the big legacy system where you plug the system once and then you're stuck with it for 20, 30 years. I think those kind of model are completely dying. And now the model, people are not afraid to change and to try new systems. I've seen, with some of my clients, people using at the same time different systems for the same product, testing it for a few weeks, and then at the end of the few weeks, deciding which one they will go for, because they had more, they were more easy to use, and the team prefers this one also. So it's the end of you select with one and you are stuck with this one forever. Now it's more about trying new things, try what is working, you continue with it, and what is not working, you change. So I feel there is a new mindset of people and system being more agile on their approach to technology. And I believe that's a new emerging trend that you see for new tech.
Okay, we were talking about guest experience. So how can exactly technology can impact guest experience if we go into detail on this topic? So how can we, use softwares or anything to actually make the experience of our guests better?
For me or for Larry?
For you, Thibault, first.
For me, okay,
Sorry.
good.
Go ahead.
I mean, on my side, I will say as well, the website, it's very important to have a modern website and using the technology you can with your booking engine and your website, because the online booking and the reservation process is at the beginning of the customer journey. So it's very important to have a great experience at this stage as well. So we have making sure it's a mobile friendly, making sure it's easy to use, you have great conversion. You can as well do some personalized pricing or personalized packages. I've seen some booking engine where, depending on where you are coming from, or depending on your cookies on your online experience, you will have different offers or different room types or different packages appearing for you, making the booking experience an experience, actually, not only a booking process, if you follow me. So we say like the booking engine and the booking experience is the first one that you can enhance with technologies, the guest experience. Second one, I would say the online reputation, because today you have a lot more reviews from everywhere, making sure the hotel gather all those reviews and can answer and follow up with each of the clients and reviews. That's super important and difficult to do, because as much we have a lot of data out there. And then everything which is related to new technologies, such as the Internet of Things and guest temperature, air conditionings, air or health and safety measure, which is actually quite an important topic nowadays. Can be the robots who are going into the room for in-home dining. So you have actually quite a lot of things where you can enhance the customer journey. Just a funny story on this one. I've seen as well a kind of arm where you can see where they put on breakfast kitchen and they serve like breakfast eggs and so on. So you click on a button and they give you like you say like scrambled eggs, and the robot do a scrambled eggs. Okay, so I saw it in Singapore at the very first stage, and I was like getting excited. It's like so a robot is going to do my breakfast. Wow! And then you select my breakfast. My it was like a poached egg or whatever. So he did everything. He took the egg, he broke it, and then he did it. I said like, okay, put your plate. So I put my plate like this, and then at the last time, everything was ready. The robot took it and put it away. I was like, okay, that's not yet 100% ready. So sometimes technology, there's some limitation, and you always have to have this kind of human contact and human interaction with the new technology, because if not, you end up like this robot throwing away my breakfast.
Yeah.
That's sad to start the day with a robot throwing away your
breakfast. I was like crying on this
especially when it was almost in your plate.
Yeah, I was like so excited. I had it. I saw it in my plate, but no.
So near yet so far.
So yeah.
You know, I was thinking, because we have a lot of softwares on the front office that can actually indeed improve this guest experience. But sometimes we also have, and sometimes you don't think about it that much, but we have back office, I would call them like that, back office softwares, as is, for example, InfraSpeak, that I know perfectly, which is a software that you can use to for maintenance management, which is actually something that guests are not thinking about it even. But if you do maintenance correctly, then they won't notice and they will have a better experience, even though it's not directly for them. So Larry, could you talk a little bit about this? You can use our example, because, well, it's the one that we know best. But I think it's also important for us to understand that not only, and managers should understand this, not only the front office softwares are important to keep the hotel running and offering a best experience, right?
I think it's good to pick up on a couple of bits also that Thibault mentioned a moment ago. If you think of maintenance, maintenance is hidden. Nobody shouts when the lights are on 364 days of the year. Everybody gets very excited when all the lights go out. You know, that's kind of maintenance. It's hidden a lot of the time. The other thing about maintenance management systems is, you know, the older systems are the classic on-premise type solution. Moving to a modern cloud-based solution has to be first and foremost for everybody. Also, the software service, or the software as a service cloud model you buy now will not be the model you have in 3, 4, or 5 years, because it's continually evolving and enhancing, and you're getting all that added functionality, so that it's evolving with you and you're both going through that evolutionary process. Now that's really critical, because it comes to the integration to the front office systems, as you've already mentioned. So like, I can talk about our solution. We have an open API. So we're all about being able to integrate to the front office systems, being able to link up to the Internet of Things, being able to link into your builder management system or your sensor arrays, etc. But really, everything is doing is allowing you to drive that customer service. So it's turning around and doing things like, okay, if there is a problem, so there's a regular task you have to do, let's say cleaning, and somebody's going away and doing the cleaning task in the main ballroom, getting it ready for tonight, but then there's a spill in the hall and reception on the tiled floor. They have to get to it there and then. So it's about being able to communicate with that member of staff with their handheld device, so they can put one job on pause, they can go and address the other one. Their manager knows, however, they've paused that job, so they can get someone else to take over it. They know that this job has been fixed. They can then go back to what they're doing. It's all driving SLAs. It's like knowing that a room has been finished by the housekeeping staff an hour early because they got through quicker. So knowing that that staff, that customer that's waiting in reception, because they've turned up early without letting you know, you can now allocate them a room and move them in, etc. But all of that again comes back to that level of integration with the other systems. A computerized maintenance management system by nature is all about keeping the lights on and helping you work. But actually what they really do is allow for automation of processes, cut down the time involved in processes, allow for prioritization of what's going on, and therefore drive the underlying success. We, as an organization, take it one step further because we use NFC technology. So we actually physically know where the person is because they've tapped in using near field communications to the job they're doing. So we know they're in that room, or they're dealing with that asset or that boiler. So your management gets a much more real-time view. But it comes down to automation, configuration, efficiencies, and communication of every step of the way.
Any comment on this topic, Thibault, if you
No,
want to?
I fully agree. I mean, one of my clients, which is one of the best smart hotel I've seen in UK, probably in Europe as well. It's Eccleston Square Hotel in London, and they have been using technology in all different areas, coming from the you have like kind of an iPad when you can control the temperature, the light, and so on. So I've seen that technology play a big part of the customer journey. That helps, that enhances the guest journey, but as well helps the staff as well on property. So technology that is becoming it's starting, and it's becoming like a big part of the center of the hotel. So for sure, technology needs to continue to be embraced by hoteliers, I believe.
We have explored a little bit some of the advantages of technology. We talked about the guest experience, the improved communication. What would others would you had, Thibault? So what kind of advantages you would like to actually have on this?
Okay. I mean, for me, saving time is a big one, because for us, the role of revenue manager has evolved in the last few years, where revenue manager used to be very let's say like crunching numbers and very geek behind the computer, just crunching like a report and thousands of data and so on. And for us, those kind of systems help us automate the reports. So we are receiving reports automatically on a daily basis directly on our mailbox. So it saves us like hours and days on a weekly basis. And then it helps us as well reach new levels, because we are automating all the tactics. So pricing is done by machine learning, by artificial intelligence, much more accurately than any human being, because the machine will automate almost in real time for the next 65 days by room type, by day, considering like thousands of factors, which is something like we cannot do. So it helps us reach a new level, increase as well as ROI and the revenue. I would say as well cost efficiency. Sometimes you can have, so instead of having like a full team of revenue manager, you can use technology to have one good revenue manager and then technology to support, while before you need to have like a full team of revenue manager to support the operation. Same in front office, or you can now hire a contractor because you have a PMS which is cloud-based, so people, they don't need to be located on property, they can work remotely. That's actually a big part of having technology in-house. And you mentioned about, Larry, about predictive maintenance, so making sure it's we solve the issue before it even happens. So it's actually a big thing. And the next one, which I believe is becoming a very important topic, it's about smart energy management. So just identifying when we have some drop of occupancy to automatically switch off the light, automatically switch off some floors, and those kind of automation, even if it's a big investment at the beginning, could yield up some big savings down the line. So technology should be part of everything. And waste management, like I know my wife is working for IAG, and they have been working on some waste management system and new technology to be implemented in some hotels, and there have been some they have done some interesting cost savings, as well some good waste management trends in IAG, just by implementing some waste management system. So as they wait and they understand like how much waste is going. So technology is an investment, yes, but down the line can help you save a lot of money.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Larry. Go ahead.
I'm just going to say, I mean, some of those points you brought up there are absolutely critical. Looking at what people are doing, how they're doing, getting that AI aspect into it. I mean, we do AI from our point of view of actually understanding what the problems are, fault resolution, etc. But driving, as you say, that communication and those efficiencies is critical. I also think one of the biggest pieces that you've got is user adoption. You know, in any system, a system stands or fails based on user adoption. So actually making sure that your customer, i.e. the user of the system, understands it and sees the benefit to them in using it, whether that's your end customer booking the hotel room, or your housekeeping, or your management team, or your engineering team. You know, that user adoption makes a big difference, because all of this stuff keeps coming back to data. The more data you capture, revenue management, the more seasonality trends, the more you understand what's going on, the type of rooms people are booking. Data is critical. It's one of the things we've experienced, that because we've got such a good pickup with people using the mobile device, we get much more accurate data because they see the benefit to them, etc., which allows you to start to understand which HVAC machines are going down, which bed frames you bought actually break more often than the other ones, which you put these new electronic blinds in on the floor, and you know, they're not as good as the ones you bought for the other floor because they keep failing, and you start getting the maintenance costs on it, and you start being able to understand the economic life. Data. It drives everything in there.
Yeah, I will add on this one because, again, back to revenue management, the amount of data we used to have in the field was very limited and very small 5-10 years ago. Today, we have a huge, insane amount of data out there, and it's becoming humanly not possible to gather and to collect and to do anything with those data. So we need to have technology to keep up with the demand and with the new needs of the industry.
One of the things we found is that the end customer, for us as a maintenance management provider to a hotel or something like that, a lot of the time, I mean with all respect, they don't really understand the costs that they're incurring, because they don't understand the economic life of that asset, how much it's cost them in terms of reactive maintenance versus predictive maintenance, we talked about earlier on, and getting to the mindset of doing just-in-time maintenance by using the Internet of Things and looking at that, rather than paying a third party to undertake a maintenance program that maybe is a standard, but is an overkill. You know, there's costs on that. Just-in-time maintenance, actually being able to understand what you're spending, when you're spending it, why you're spending it, and should you spend it, or should you just replace that item? It's all about data.
I agree.
Yeah. True indeed. And we have been talking about advantages, but what kind of challenges do you believe, Thibault, that technology and implementing new softwares on hotels or new technologies in general can bring?
For me, the biggest one, and that's my personal opinion, but I'm also freaked out about this topic, it's cybersecurity. Because with a new trend of new technology adoption, you have a new trend as well coming from hackers and from people trying to exploit those kind of new breaches into technology. And at one point, I'm just scared that someone will take control of my fridge, and my fridge will start to eat me, or something like this. But that's something like that can happen today, because everything is connected. So if someone has access to your phone, actually can control a lot of things behind you. So cybersecurity is a number one thing. So if you don't have a kind of a contingency plan or so, do it today. Activate the 2FA security code on any system that you have, be it on Facebook, Gmail, or whatever. The 2 authentication, that's one of the biggest things. So do it if you listen to me. And then I will say like a data protection. I mean, you have now the GDPR in Europe, which is very important. So making sure we protect those data and we know to control it is also linked to cyber security. And last but not the least, for hotels specifically, technology is good, but don't forget the human connection and the guest experience, because people are coming to your hotel not to play with the robots, or maybe they are, I don't know, but they are mostly coming to talk to the guest and have an experience with the staff. And the staff is the number one key element of your guest experience and guest satisfaction. So yes, embrace technology, but don't forget about the guest, and don't forget to engage with your guest. Okay. So I think you need to find the right balance between those two, and don't think about replacing those kind of guest engagement with technology. We just need to find the right balance with the right customer, but don't forget about the human interaction. I think it's important.
I think one other thing that you need to put in there, which is going to be the in-room experience, because of the COVID-19 situation, everything like that. I think a lot more people are going to be looking to use their phone to control everything in the room. They're not going to be wanting to go to a grubby keyboard or pick up a grubby remote control. They're going to want to have downloaded an app and continue that app experience once they're in the room.
Or you have voice control. You don't touch anything, you just do it with your voice.
Exactly. That's going to be a big, big area.
That's actually connected to my last question. But before we get to my last question, I will ask everyone that is watching us, if you have any questions or comments, please share it with us. We will try to answer them, even though we are eating our time limit. But we are very happy to have your questions. So if you want to share on the comment section, feel free, and we will get an answer for you. So basically, my last question is precisely about the new trends for technology from now on. Because in the beginning of 2020, we had an idea, everything changed with this whole COVID-19 situation. And now we are more concerned with safety, cleanliness and things like this. So what do you think that will change for technology as well? So what kind of technologies will make a difference now and will be definitely, an opportunity for hotels or even like a priority? Thibault, go ahead.
Okay, well, I believe the first one will be self-check-in and self-checkout, where people don't have to queue at the reception to check out or check in. So self-check-in, self-checkout will be one. Everything which is contactless will be the priority. So as we mentioned about the voice control, instead of having an iPad where you have to clean and to touch with everything, that would be super important. Payment, contactless payments, now it's actually I think it's almost mandatory in all hotels. Some hotels don't even accept cash anymore because of the health and safety measures. So everything contactless would be the priority, I believe. Again, there is a lot of system out there that can help us. And again, we are looking at what the government has to say in different areas. And I believe technology would be a big part of those plans.
We actually are concerned as well at InfraSpeak, I would say, about how hotels can communicate the fact that they are indeed, following safety and health measures. And probably Larry can talk a little bit about it because we have launched a new project recently. And I also want to know your opinion on this, Thibault, because it's actually a project called Place Checkup. Okay. And it's a platform where establishments, premises can go there and actually insert the kind of measures they are taking to prevent COVID-19. And then the consumers in a second version will be able to go there and see what kind of seal do you have, what kind of badge. And we have 3 badges, A, B, or C, considering if you are following like 10 measures, 20 measures, or 30 measures. So Larry, you can probably talk a little bit about this, and then I would like to hear your opinion on this, Thibault.
And what we've done is we've brought a free to market solution. So we're not getting anything out of this. It's to help with the current situation. It's called Place Checkup, and it basically allows you to check up on a place prior to checking in. It's not just for hotels, it's for any establishment that you're thinking of going to visit. And it does simple things. It's integrated with Google, so you can actually see what people are doing. Are they providing masks? Are they wearing PPE gear themselves? Are they respecting physical distancing rather than social distancing, which I think is a weird term? But they're doing the physical distancing. How are they doing their cleanup routines, etc.? All of these sort of things. And it allows organizations to self-register, as Liliana said. It allows them to say what they're providing and what they're doing. And then it asks them a series of questions that allows them then to score themselves on how they're performing. We obviously, with that, we're also giving an audit capability so that if people subsequently need to rescore, then we have to take that on board. But then we're also making it available to the wider public so that the public can make their own comments and do things like this. And it's purely and simply, if I'm going to a hotel, I want to know that they are physically distancing. I'm not having to queue up to get in the door. I want to understand that they're providing hand sanitizers at the door and everywhere. And I want to know what else they've done before I go and stay there for 2 or 3 days and leave my comfort bubble. So it's just it's to help people understand what establishments are doing and how they're going about it. So we've just launched it as of yesterday, last night, and people are getting to know about it today, and we're just promoting it. So it'd be interesting to understand what you think of that sort of approach.
Okay, I believe it's a great idea, and I repeat to hotel and to our clients that again we have no idea what's going to happen, but I have the feeling that people will trust and will value much more the health and safety measures taken by the hotel rather than the price itself after the crisis. So it's important to show some badges and to communicate with guests what you are doing to respect those kind of health and safety measures. Now, a badge or something, it makes total sense. And I would love to see something more global happening, such as from the WHO, where they have like a stamp for global hotels. They just say like, that's the one that you need to look for. So I fully agree, and I think it makes total sense with your initiatives.
What we've actually done there is we've followed the WHO guidelines. So that's the questionnaire that people are using. So exactly for that reason, and we're making this product. We can make it available in multiple environments, but we've launched it to the UK, Portugal, Brazil, and Spain. But obviously, like our product, we're physically only in those 4 countries, but we're used in 11 or 12 countries worldwide. So we hope that more people will use it, and we'd be really keen on getting involved with any trade associations or bodies. You know, if they want to put their badge on it or anything like that, we're more than happy to work with them, because it's just all about making it safer for people and helping us get back to the new normal, if you like. Again.
I agree. I think there is definitely a need for that, to show the stress, and for any hoteliers, they need to communicate as much as they can what they are doing. So be it on the website, on the page, on the blog, on social media, or whatever, just to show what they are doing to make sure that also health and safety measures are respected. So yeah, any kind of audit or score that you can pass, strict or less strict, self-evaluated or not, but it has to show some kind of sign of trust, which I believe is very important in the next few months.
Yeah, and I believe that giving voice to the consumers and to the guests is absolutely crucial, because the fact that we know that that's under controlled somehow daily by people that use the places give us another kind of trust, ability to trust on the seals or on whatever is actually certifying that place. So yeah, okay.
We have some new, we don't know exactly what people will be looking for after the crisis. Maybe they will completely forget about it and they will just want to travel and get out.
Yeah, we don't know, right? We have no idea. That's true.
But we are also forecasting maybe that people will tend to travel less in Airbnb and will travel more in hotels because of the health and safety measures that are taken more seriously. I don't know, from the hotel rather than Airbnb, because you don't want to share a room with someone else or a partner with someone else. So we have a lot of different, and I believe there will be a change of customer behavior post-crisis. But again, that's only assumption, and time will tell. So we will adjust at this time.
True indeed.
Yeah. I don't see myself going for a buffet breakfast in a hotel anymore.
This one will change.
No,
I mean, for me,
really.
The 2 biggest questions I have for after the crisis, it's indeed buffet breakfast. I think it's actually, it will take a while to recover from buffet breakfast. People don't want to go on buffet breakfast, or there will be a lot of limitation. And the second one, which I'm very worried about, it's events, MICE industry, groups, which will take a while to recover. And I don't see it much, or it will recover.
Definitely. And it's super sad because, buffet breakfasts are one of my favorite parts in every hotel. But, well, I think it's a new reality. And we don't exactly know how it will be because, well, that's what you were saying, Thibault. Maybe everyone will forget about it and we will go back to what we knew. We don't know. Let's wait and see. For now, I think everyone will be having a lot of careful with that.
I mean, I'm currently in Austria. If you see outside, people, the shops are open. So it's one of the first one in Europe. But people are going crazy. Like shops are full. It seems like they completely forgot about
Seriously?
what happened. Yeah. So I have some. I'm quite optimistic that people may forget about it. I'm not sure if they need to forget or they have to forget, because it's if they forget too much, then we can go back to square one from in the next few months. That's not the plan.
Definitely.
So again, I believe we need to see how it's gone and to adjust accordingly. But yeah, if you listen and the government tell you to stay home, please stay home.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so we are past the time limit. We didn't add any questions, unfortunately, but if you still want to make some questions after this, please do, because we will be available to keep answering all your questions through our LinkedIn pages. So feel free to reach out to us. Thank you all for taking the time to watch this webinar. And thank you, Thibault and Larry, to be with us and to take the time to participate in this webinar. So we will be back next Thursday. Stay tuned on Stay InfoSpeak.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.